Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is Behavior here, and we are talking more Sinners. Of course, this is directed by Mr. Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. It is in theaters right now. Please go see the film if you have not. In this video, we're going to be discussing a few things. First, the box office results, whether they are good or bad. Some of the headlines covering the results from the trades. Are they hating or are they telling the truth? Black people actually showing up to support this film, the director Ryan Coogler and the secret studio deal that he was able to crack and how that's possibly scaring some of these Hollywood execs. And if we also have time, some of the comments that I got in the 3, 4, 5 reviews that I have done on YouTube. Some of them are great. Some of them are some of the most ignorant things I've ever heard in my life. So buckle on in. Now, one of the first things that I do want to talk about, we all know who Ben Stiller is. He is a famous actor in Hollywood, and all the links that we're going to be discussing today are going to be in the description box of this video. But yeah, this is Ben Stiller right here. And if you go to X, if you go to Twitter, he put out a tweet. In what universe does a $60 million opening for an original studio movie warrant this headline? Well, what headline is this? This is coming from Variety, one of the trades out there. They know their stuff for the most part. Sinners has amassed $61 million in its global debut. It's a great result for an original R-rated horror film, yet the Warner Brothers release has a $90 million price tag before global marketing expenses. So profitability remains a ways away. Now, this is upsetting a number of people on social media, online, like, wait a minute, where is this coming from, man? Why can't the movie just be great? Why you hating? Why you throwing shade over here talking about, yeah, it's got this rating and everybody's saying it's the best of the year, but now you're talking about making money. Also, real quick, I did see one comment on Twitter, like someone big was like, why the F would fans care why a movie is profitable or not? To answer that question is, if the movie is not profitable, the studio will not produce, they will not finance those type of movies anymore. Ryan Coogler did not pay for this movie out of his pocket. It was produced, it was financed by Warner Brothers. And if black people, whoever you are, whatever you look like, if you want to go to a studio and be like, I want to make this movie with these people about this plot right here, there has to be some type of proof of concept. If Ryan Coogler can go back and be like, hey, my Sinners movie made everybody money, they're more likely to give him more money in the future to make more films. But if it flops or doesn't make any money at all, it'll be harder for him or any other filmmaker to make what they want. Or if they do make what they want, it's just going to have a lot of studio involvement. Now, going back to this tweet right here, to be honest with you, from Variety, in my opinion, it does seem like they're throwing a little hate, a little shade, like, oh man. And also, mind you, this wasn't that big a deal, in my opinion, until the Ryan Coogler studio deal came out and was made public. That does not really happen that often. And it does feel like they're saying, wait a minute, we cannot have all of these black people winning across the board economically. The movie, it is raving reviews. But if Coogler is going to have this super duper deal, we got to throw some shade in there some way. We can't have black people having ownership over anything. So, I mean, that's what it seems like. I'm just going to be honest with you. But at the same time, this Variety article or this tweet is not lying. This is somewhat truthful. This is somewhat accurate. Now, this was on Twitter. This was on X. But this right here is an actual article that was written by Variety. And I did go through at least the first half of this, and there's something you said in here as far as the numbers that just doesn't make sense to me at all. But y'all can let me know if I'm wrong. But this says right here 5 reasons why Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan Sinners ruled at the box office. So this seems more positive, besides this tweet right here that we have on X. So you guys let me know what you think. Now, before we get into this article, just real quick, if we go over to Rotten Tomatoes, raving reviews, 98% from the critics, that's 280 reviews, and 97% from the audience, which is over 10,000 verified reviews. This is very good. And also CinemaScore has Sinners at an A. Only thing better than this, of course, is an A+. And if you're not familiar with CinemaScore, Cinema score is where they have a group of people that work for the studio or some third party group. I don't know, that some people that are representing the film. Opening weekend, they are literally outside in the foyer at the movie theater waiting for people to come out of the theater. Hey, what did you think about the film? Was it bad? Was it good? What you like? What you didn't? You know, so this is like real live data right here that they're using. So, of course, if you didn't know that, now you know. Now you know. Now, as far as the box office is concerned, Sinners, $48 million domestic, that's the country, $15 million international, and $63 million worldwide. Now, is this good or is this bad? We don't know yet. It could be good. It could be bad. We're just going to have to wait and see what the second weekend drop is going to be. And if I had to be honest with you guys, I'm a bit nervous. I'm a bit nervous. Now, I used to do box office results every week years ago, but I stopped because they changed the format on Box Office Mojo because that was one of the main sources I use. But we're going to go to the classroom right here, and you can see I've already been doing some math, okay? I've always said that a studio needs to make a film, or excuse me, a studio wants their film to make at least 3 times of the production budget for them to not just make a profit, but, you know, make it worth their while. Because even if you only profit $1 and you put in 2 years of work, was it really worth it if you only profited it? You profited, but it was only $1. So not only a profit or past break even, like they made a profit and it was actually worth their while. They made a little extra money. I always say 3 times. You see a lot of people online saying 2.5 times. I'll say, hey, let's just go the extra 3 or go the extra mile, do 3 times so we can be safe. And I'm gonna also tell you why in just a second, why that 2.5 really doesn't add up. So if the movie was, the production budget was $90 million, if we go to Wikipedia, right? I mean, you can just look this up yourself anywhere, but you know, the production budget right here is 90 million to 100 million, okay? And also just Google Sinners production budget, $90 million. That is not including the marketing budget, the money they use to promote the film. The $90 million is what's to make the film. Also, another way you can look at it, every time you go to the movies and there's credits at the end, the production budget is split amongst everybody in the ending credits, not evenly. So this $90 million right here went to everybody in the credits, and the actors, the actresses, everybody in the credits. Okay, not evenly, but that's just, you know, just some more information for you. And again, this does not include the marketing budget. Okay. Oh, let's go ahead and look at the marketing budget too. Sinners had a marketing budget estimated between $50 to $60 million. And when we get into this article right here, they're going to say that as well. Yeah, that's because the studio spent $90 million to produce the film and roughly $50 to $60 million on global marketing expenses. Okay. So I thought that was a bit high. I would have said like 45 million because on average, the marketing budget on average is about half of what the production budget is. So 90 million production, 45, you slice it in half, 45 million. Sometimes when studios can get stupid and ridiculous, they will spend, the marketing will be the same amount as the production, and that's crazy. Off the top of my head, I remember The Amazing Spider-Man 2, that budget was so damn high. It was like over 200, maybe 300 million. It was ridiculous, but anyway, I don't want to get too off track. So 3 times the budget. So if it costs 90 million, and we times that by 3, we get 270. So I feel that the movie needs to make at least $270 million worldwide for the studios to feel like it was worth the damn. Now, of course, this article right here, it says, since theater owners keep half of ticket sales, Sinners needs to gross around 200 million to 225. Where does she get that number from? If we say 90 times 2.5, 225. So according to Variety, they say 2.5 times the budget, which is the 225 right here. And then you see that on the calculator. But me, myself, I'm like, no. That's not going to work. We're going to do the times 3, 270 to be on the safe side, Now, let me make this bigger so y'all can, we're going to break this down. We are going to break this down. Okay, just talking about the opening, which we already went over, the 48 and the 63 million right here. But Sinners will need to continue a strong run in multiplexes to turn a profit. I do agree with that so far. I do agree. That's because the studio spent $90 million to produce the film and roughly $50 to $60 million on global marketing expenses, okay? Since theater owners keep half of ticket sales, Sinners needs to gross around 200 million to 225 globally in order to break even theatrically, according to knowledgeable sources. Okay, now, I'm not an expert, but I know a little bit. This does not make sense to me, guys. Let's look at what they just said. Sinners needs to gross around 200 to 225 globally, and the theater owners keep half of the ticket sales. I don't know. I've never heard that before in my entire life. The only territory that I may get half of the box office is China, because they have their own stuff, but this doesn't make any sense. I say that the studios always get a third of the box office, 33%, not half, because let's just do the math on how that doesn't make any crap sense. If you say 225 and the studios get half, you divide that by 2. You get 112,500,000. So after the studios get half, this is the number we have left over, 112,500,000. Okay, the budget, they said, costs $90 million. So minus $90 million. That means that the studio has $22.5 million left over. Is this what they profited? No. Then you got to subtract this marketing budget right here. Now, mind you guys, the marketing budget is normally not released to the public. People usually also have to go on the estimate, but we're going to rock with the 50 to 60 million right here. If they got 22.5 million left over and you subtract 60, they in the hole. They done lost 37.5 million. So I don't get where their numbers came from. It doesn't make no sense to me. If there are any other experts out there that has some good information about this, let me know. Now, let's go to my formula right here and do the same thing. We're going to do it 2 different ways. We're going to do the 225 like they said. Now, if we're going to take a third away, 0.66 with times, and so we don't got to do extra stuff, 148.5 million left over, minus the 90 million. And then even if we do minus 60, it's still a loss. They lost $1.5 million. So this is why I say, gosh darn it, let's do it 3 times the budget to make sure. Okay, so 90 million is the budget. I always say times 3 just to make sure. That's 270 million. Again, I don't know where she got this half stuff. So if we take 33% away, 0.33, but just to save time, we're gonna multiply times 0.66. Say for instance, the film made 270 million worldwide. The studios take 33% of that. There's $178.2 million left over. We subtract the 90 million production budget. You have $88.2 million left over. And then you want to take this high ass $60 million marketing budget, subtract that, 28.2 million. So in my assessment, my calculations, I think it's better to do 3 times the budget just to be on the safe side. And also, I don't know where in the world she got half from. We did the math with half and it didn't make no sense. So you guys let me know what y'all think right there, okay? Sinners is also starting slow internationally with 15.4 million last weekend from 71 markets. And that is accurate. It did open day and date for the most part. These are all the territories right here. It opened in the States on the 18th. And, it's open up here 16th, 17th. The only other, these are all the places that it opened up worldwide. So it's pretty much open everywhere except for Vietnam, May 9th. And if we look at Box Office Mojo, as far as this is the domestic information, we look at our territories here. We don't have the exact numbers. We only got, 5 countries or 6 or something like that. So we have to wait. But if I gotta be honest with y'all guys, this is not, it's not bad. It's not good. We don't know. I don't know what the drop off is going to be. I don't know what the drop off is going to be. Now, of course, I got to talk about the article, not the article, but what other big people in Hollywood are saying. And also black people, real quick, black people, man, y'all got to show up for this movie. Okay, it's a good movie. If you haven't heard, it's good. That's what everybody is saying. This not no comic book movie, black director, black cast, all that. So I don't know why people are not going in droves to see this right now. It's very, very frustrating if I had to be honest with you. But let me go to this article right here with Complex. And again, this is in the description. Ben Stiller, Patrick Schwarzenegger defense centers amid conversation about box office success. So we already talked about his tweet right here. But let's just go a little further. It didn't take long for people to begin pushing back against the framing of the tweet, with Stiller being among more of the boldface amongst names to do so. So yeah, we talked about that. And if we just scroll down a little bit more, Patrick Schwarzenegger, it's opening weekend. Okay. Other names have called us out about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood made less money in its opening weekend, but was still considered a hit. This is true, but we're going to talk about that as well. There is 0% chance Sinners will be unprofitable over time. Paid video on demand numbers, which are not made publicly available. That's true. Along will push back to break even. Studios are incentivized to make the final tally opaque, especially when participation is a factor. There's a massive, and that did cut off right there. He brought up Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and sold it to somebody else, which made 10% less at the box office on 10% more theaters pre-pandemic. Now, I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood up right here, and it made $142 million domestically over its whole theatrical run. 3,600 theaters, okay? And, I was going to say Black Panther. Sinners had 3,300 theaters. So somewhat close, but 300, that can make a difference. But both films did cost $90 million to make. 90 million. However, I want y'all to look at now. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood made 377 worldwide. But y'all look at these international numbers right here. Look at these international numbers for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Look at the international numbers for Sinners. Again, this is opening weekend. We're going to have to wait and see, but this is not looking too promising. So I want to take a break real quick. Black people, please listen to me. Do not give these people ammunition for them to say that black films do not succeed overseas. Okay, if you're overseas and you're watching this, please go see it. Even if that is the case, let's make sure that it doesn't matter, because we're gonna hold them down here domestically in the States. Black Americans, all of our other black brothers and sisters in the diaspora, migrate over here. I love you all. Okay, let's show up and show out at the box office. Okay, so where even if they don't show up internationally, worldwide, because that was a talking point we've heard all our lives. Hey, even if that is the case, which it's not the case, but in this case, let's show them that don't even matter, because we're going to show up here in the United States. You know what I'm saying? So, and also I've seen, at the time of this recording, I have seen the movie twice. I've only paid for it once, and thank you, studio, for allowing me to see it early, and I didn't have to pay for it. Anyway, I do appreciate that. But I did go see it. I saw it the Thursday it opened, because I saw the Thursday it opened. I paid $20 for the IMAX, so I'm supporting it myself, and I plan on going to go see it again. I'm recording this right now, Tuesday, April the 22nd. I may go see it again Thursday when I get off work. Because I may want to do another review with One Take and Tyra, two of the homies of the channel. Y'all go subscribe to them as well. I did like 4 reviews. I got my own solo review. I got spoilers review part 1, 2, and 3. One with E-Man, one with Malcolm, one with Kim. I may again do one with One Take and Tyra. So yeah, we got to show up for this right here. We got to show up for this right here. So again, I don't know. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now I don't know exactly how many territories it had as far as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but this is a good number right here that you can look at. I don't really feel like counting, but you guys can do that if you like. But yeah, we got to show up for this. But I want to go back to this article right here. Variety, when it's time to slander minorities. That's hilarious. I like that. But yeah, guys, we cannot necessarily say this is a success. I mean, it's only made 68 million. Worldwide. Okay, we gotta hit 270. Can we hit 300? Okay. Black people, we're showing up for, no, I'm not gonna say that. But come on now. And black people, I'm a bit disappointed. we're not showing up enough. Now, okay, so we're going to come back to this right here. Let's talk about this article right here about Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler's Sinners deal is reportedly freaking some studio executives out. Coogler gets back ownership of the Michael B. Jordan film in 2050, which feels like it's at least 20 other Hollywood apocalyptics from now. We can't imagine it takes much to make a movie studio executive nervous these days. The box office is still sluggish in the wake of COVID-19 lockdowns. Not even superheroes can guarantee a hit, but that's not likely for Ryan Coogler in his Sinners film. Now, this article originally came from Vulture, which has not explored the terms of Coogler's unorthodox deal, but also found some anonymous Hollywood types willing to call it very dangerous, as well as to say it could be the end of the studio system, which was certainly a real boom to the headline writers. We kid because it's generally a good examination of the issue, but some of this panic definitely feels a little overblown. I would definitely agree there. It's like this: Coogler, who is fresh off a very serious run of hits, including Creed and 2 Black Panthers, when he was shopping the Michael B. Jordan project around, had a number of requirements when he looked to hammer out a deal for Sinners with studios. Some of these were big ass, but not outside the realm of possibility for a guy currently writing a series of major box office wins. Final cut of the movie and first dollar gross. That is, Coogler starts getting portion of the film's profits from the moment it opens in theaters, rather than having to wait for the studio to make back its money. The really biggie, though, was one that more than one studio reportedly balked at. Coogler wanted ownership of the film to revert to him after 25 years. I love this right here. That's great. That's great. But enough clapping. I'm sorry. This is unorthodox, to say the least. Hollywood studios derive a ton of their value from the vast libraries of films they own, so losing even one and all of its attendant potentials for licensing, sequels, redistribution, etc., is usually pretty unthinkable. It usually only happens when a director takes a huge risk, like self-financing a movie. Mel Gibson owns The Passion of the Christ, for instance, while Richard Linklater has partial ownership of Boyhood. Quentin Tarantino, meanwhile, gets ownership of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood back in a couple of decades. Essentially a continuation of old deals he used to have with Miramax from deals when the whole studio was basically resting on his back. Coogler scoring a rights reversion on what only his 5th movie and outlier, one that as much of a reflection of how much Warner Brothers has been floundering in recent years as Coogler on rising star status. But also the article goes on how the same studio, Warner Brothers, lost Christopher Nolan because they released all of their films that was supposed to be theatrical on demand streaming. That was not a good idea. They're still suffering from that right there. So this is just another reason why we need to support this film right here. I mean, come on. I want this movie to make money early on because he gets first dollar gross. Okay, I want Ryan to get paid, man. Come on, wow. Black people, just show it. It's a good movie. I gave the movie a 7 out of 10 the first time I saw it, and I gave it a 7.5 out of 10 the second time I saw it. It may rise again, it may stay there, but for the most part, I feel the same. I mean, as far as my criticisms are concerned, there are some things about the plot and the characters that I did appreciate the second time around, which I'll talk about. I talked about in round 3 of my spoilers review that you can go check out on my channel. But guys, we gotta show up to this film. Okay, we gotta support it. There's no reason not to. Please support this film. It's a good movie because, I mean, that's what it says right here from the critics and also from the audience. Okay, so there you go right there. Also, sis, now let me talk about some of these dumbass, ignorant comments that I have been getting. I had one young lady that was trying to rip me and E-Man up for our review. E-Man gave the movie an 8.5 out of 10. Yet people still had issue with him saying that he's hating on the film and we're haters and all of this ignorant stuff. One young lady said, yeah, they are hating on the film. I unsubscribe for both of their channels. So why are you still here in the comment section? Also, just because I did not say that the movie is the best movie of the year, or that I think it was not, because I didn't say the movie was just perfect, 10 out of 10, that apparently I'm a hater. And I also hate black people, that I'm a self-hating black person. I've also been called a simpleton. I have been called a ton of things in this comment section, and they're so ridiculous. Now, I'm not calling your comments ridiculous if you disagree with me. That's perfectly fine. But when you call it names and you're being insulting, you're going to get blocked. I haven't had time, but I'm about to have me a nice block party, just getting rid of all the stupid stuff that I don't want to deal with. And no, I do not think that Sinners is the best film of the year of 2025. I liked the movie. I thought the movie was good. I thought the movie was great. There are more things that I like about the movie than that I don't like a movie. But just because, and if you thought it's the best film of the year, if you think it's a 10 out of 10, that's great. I applaud you. I'm happy you feel that way. But all movies are subjective. And I just don't feel that way. Now, I personally feel that Magazine Dreams with Jonathan Majors is the best film of the year. That's my prerogative. That's my opinion, and I am entitled to it. And you really can't even argue with me objectively because you didn't see the film. So how can you say whether it is the best film of the year or compared to anything else if you didn't see the film? And the reason why I know you did not see the film is because of this right here. Bam! It didn't make any money. It made $1 million worldwide. No one went to go see this movie. What the hell is going on? If you thought Sinners was the best film of the year, that's great. I did not, and I'm entitled to that. I'm entitled to my opinion. I thought Magazine Dreams was the best film of the year. If you don't feel that way, that's great. That it would be a dumb argument, but you really can't even have the argument because no one went to go see the film anyway, because the proof is in the pudding right here. And this has rave reviews as well. It's not as good as Sinners, but I think it's like at least an 80 something. I mean, I thought the acting in this was far better than in Sinners, and I'm not saying the acting in Sinners was bad, but besides all that, Black people, why are you not showing up for this? All the people that was making videos on social media saying justice for Jonathan and Marvel needs to hire Jonathan Majors back. He didn't do nothing, yada yada yada. Why did you not show up for him at the box office? Black people, I'm disappointed in you. You have these great original films, but you don't show up at the box office. What the hell is going on? I'm also disappointed to you, Black people, because something else you didn't see. You did not go see Captain America: Brave New World. Okay. Was it the best movie in the MCU? No, it wasn't, but it was still good. No one went to go see this either. $414 million worldwide. This movie lost money too. Because Black people didn't want to go see it. So you have a Black man that is leading a superhero franchise with a budget of at least $150 million plus. The only other time that's happened is Black Panther. Now, we showed up for that, but you didn't show up for this. Now Black Panther was a better movie than this, but I mean, come on, y'all can go to the $5 Tuesday or something. I'm not being facetious or sarcastic or whatever. I'm disappointed. It's just like I really get frustrated when stuff is trending online about support, but you don't put your money where your mouth is. Even years ago when y'all was like, man, we got to support Monique and Precious and Netflix versus, but nobody went to go see Precious in theaters. No one went to go see it. Do I need to pull up the receipts for Precious? $63 million worldwide. Where are the people that was voting for Monique saying we need to show up? You didn't show up at the box office. You know what makes matters worse is this movie was nominated for an Oscar too. So it got extra promotion. Anytime a film is released or is nominated for an Oscar, whether the studios pay for it or not, it's more marketing. No one showed up for that. Oh my God, I can continue on. It's Taraji P. Henson, when she was crying and upset and emotional online, we gotta show up for Taraji. We gotta show up. No one shows up for Taraji at the box office. I could even pull up Taraji's most highest box office grosses, but I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. And just something else that I wanted to add for all the people that said I'm a hater because I did not give the movie a perfect score or say that the movie is the best of the year and that I'm a self-hating Black and all these other things. And also someone commenting, well, Brandon, all of the critics on Rotten Tomatoes gave it a perfect score. Why are you different from everybody else? I don't really understand that. I mean, here I am. This is Rotten Tomatoes right here. And here I am right here. I gave the movie a positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So the website that you brought up, here I am right here giving it a fresh rating. So how can I be a hater but give it a fresh rating at the same time? And this was before the movie came out, April 17th. So that's just weird. And also, for those that are saying that, 98%, it has a 98%, right? Let me go back. Well, y'all did see it. And that does not mean that 98% of the critics gave it a perfect score. That means that 98% of the critics, or whatever the percentage is, gave it a positive rating. So Vincent here gave it an A, but let's just scroll down and look at some of the scores. They gave it a perfect score. They gave it a perfect score. Let's see here. Okay, Edwin gave it a B plus, but I thought it meant it was a perfect score. A, 4 out of 4. 9 out of 10. That's not perfect. Some people don't even put their ratings on here. You have to go 4 out of 5. That's not perfect. A minus isn't perfect. 4 out of 5. Wait a minute. I thought you knew how Rotten Tomatoes works. Okay, a couple of perfect scores, 4.5 out of 10. Here's a 3.5 out of 5, which is still considered fresh. So, yeah, I mean, I can continue to go on, but, a lot of you don't know what you're talking about. Again, I'm not saying the people that disagree with my opinion. I'm saying those people that think they know how Rotten Tomatoes makes and making the insulting, disrespectful comments. And also about him, and I'm defending him because we did a video together and it was on my channel. It makes no sense. Again, he gave the movie an 8.5 out of 10. He saw the movie like 2 weeks before it came out. And after that, still decided to buy out an entire theater so people in his neighborhood could go see it for free. So I don't know any hater that would do, I don't know anybody that would do that off of a movie that they did not like or that they feel were hating on. So, I mean, we can converse in the comment section, but just read a little bit, or if you didn't even know, just be humble and ask questions. And, I don't mind pointing things out, but the disrespect is just not gonna fly. And so Black people, please show up for this film. Please support it. It's really good. Spread the word. If you like my commentary here, please subscribe. If you don't, it's all good. And that's all I have. So guys, thank you again for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget, I'm B. Avery. That's just my opinion. Peace. And I'll see you next time. Subscribe. Subscribe.